Let's talk about this because I didn't even hear about this, but I just read it. It pops up on the news feed here. 13-year-old shot at school shooting in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Did you hear about that?
No.
Washington middle school shooting, 13-year-old victim. Police revealed that Hargrove tried to de-escalate a violent situation between classmates during lunch and was shot 6 times by 13-year-old Juan Cecido. According to the police report, students said Cecido showed them the gun earlier in the day, which he had brought from home. And at lunchtime, Hargrove asked him to stop bullying a friend of his, and that's when he pulled out the gun and shot him in the grassy area of the school near the running track. His father told officers he noticed his gun was missing around noon, but by the time he drove to Washington Middle School, police were placing Juan in handcuffs. It's been a while since we've seen a school shooting, and you know, maybe it's because kids weren't in school as much for the last year, but when I grew up, when I went to school, there was Columbine. Columbine happened when I was in school, because that was in the 90s, like 95 or 96 or something.
I don't remember the year.
And
like
that was like from what I remember growing up, that was the first like school shoot. Someone went in there and just shot up a bunch of kids. A kid shot up a bunch of kids. Got tired of people fucking talking shit.
It was certainly a big deal. It was on the news. It was on the news for months.
It was it was huge, and it was referenced for years. Like any goth kid was all of a sudden a Columbine shooter at that point, because they dressed in black trench coats and they were kind of they had the gothic look going to them, whatever. And then we didn't really see school shootings that much, and then all of a sudden kids start bringing guns to school, and it becomes a regular thing to where now it's part of, like, people are making products to barricade doors. Every other freaking week there's a new thing out, like, oh, if you're in school. It's so crazy to me, and I cannot wrap my head around how a kid, 13-year-old boy, comes to the conclusion that today I'm going to bring a handgun to school and I'm going to shoot my classmate.
All right. Well, I can tell you why. You're big. So I don't know if you ever experienced bullying. I don't know if anyone
I wasn't always big. I'm not that big.
You're
tall.
All right, whatever. Tall. I'll ask you straight up. You can just answer me yes or no. Were you ever bullied?
Yes.
And I don't like. All right. Well, tell me how. Tell me how you were bullied.
So I'd had kids that may have been more athletic. I wasn't an athletic person. Not well. I mean, I didn't not in school. Like, I played like basketball at my house and football at my house. But in school, I was, I kept to myself. I was kind of a dork. I played violin, and I had kids on the bus that would talk shit, push me around, want to fight. I was in a couple fights.
What's the worst thing that ever happened to you? What's the worst bullying experience you ever had?
Mostly kids would make fun of my name because it was easy to rhyme, like corny Lorne or some dumb shit.
They would taunt you.
Yeah, they would taunt me. Someone would push you around. I usually just walked away. There was like 3 or 4 times where I was like, you know what, dude? If you want to fight, come fight me. And they'd get off the bus.
Fair enough.
And I always had in the back of my head.
Fairly big guy. And that's.
I don't think, but I wasn't big. I was in like 6th grade or 8th grade.
Let me explain to you a couple different. And I'm not diminishing what happened to you. Taunting's bad, and I'm sure that getting into scuffles with people is bad. I'll tell you what I experienced, and I can promise you that if I had access to a fucking gun, I would absolutely have fucking gone into the school the next day, and it would have blown these motherfuckers away. First of all, it had happened to me more than once. I went to 3 different high schools. It happened at the first high school, it happened at the second high school, and it happened at the third high school. And it wasn't somebody taunting me, and it wasn't somebody bullying me. At the high school the first high school when I was a freshman, I had, I'm going to say 5 to 6. I'm in my locker after football practice. I'm changing out of my football clothes into my regular clothes. I'm in my underwear. 5 guys out of nowhere. My mind is 100,000 miles away. 5 guys gather around my fucking locker and start chanting swirly, swirly. And these guys grabbed me and picked me up, and they were going to take me into the locker, into the bathroom, in the locker room, into a toilet filled with about 6 different people's shit. And they were going to stick my head in the fucking toilet. And they were going to flush the fucking toilet and give me what's called a swirly. And I'm sitting there. Not only do I know the people that done this, my mom tutored some of them. They used to come to my fucking house. And we used to play football in my front yard. And now these guys have grabbed me, picked me up, and are chanting this. And my own friends, the people in my grade, the people that I knew, the people that I thought gave a fucking shit about me and would never let some shit like this happen, just stood there and watched it. And these motherfuckers picked me up and carried me towards the bathroom. And I'm going to tell you, I realized in an instant that I was going to have to fight for my fucking life. And I fought as hard as I fucking could. And somehow, through whether it was through one of my kicks or one of my punches, these dudes let me go. I'll now flash forward to the next fucking year at a completely brand new school where I went in having had this experience already. And one day, I'm sitting outside after school. Now, those guys didn't give me a swirly, but they had a new thing at this school called the truth serum. Do you want to know what the truth serum was?
Oh, I want to know.
They pinned you down on the fucking ground, and guys took turns sitting on your face with their naked ass.
Oh, Jesus.
How that became a fucking form of torture, I don't know. How that was even... But anyway, I'm after school. I had to wait for somebody to give me a ride home every day. So I just sit outside and wait for a ride. So I'm sitting outside, I'm waiting for a ride. And one of the guys on the football team comes up and he's like, "Hey, Marshall, come in here." So I go walking over. I walk into the lobby of the gym. Easily 20 guys are standing there waiting for me. There was no fighting.
20 dudes.
Easily.
20 dudes.
20, at least.
All
Maybe,
excited.
I don't know how excited. They couldn't wait to get a hold of me. They had a plan, and they were going to fucking execute it. And there was nothing that I could fucking do. I looked up. They had 3 guys on each arm, 3 guys on each leg. They carried me from the lobby of the gym into the locker room. No coaches around, no adults around, no security around, no nothing. Pinned me down on the fucking ground. 4 or 5 of them, I don't remember how many of them, took turns sitting on my fucking face while I was with their naked fucking ass on my face. Now, I can fucking tell you this for a fact. If I had a fucking gun and I had access to a fucking gun, and I've heard worse stories than this. I'm telling you my own story.
Right.
I'm telling you what actually has happened to me. And by the way, I've never told this story to anybody ever. This happened to me 40 fucking years ago. But I will tell you this, and I've never told a soul, not one fucking person, nobody. I didn't want to fucking tell anybody. If I had a gun at my house, I absolutely, no fucking doubt in my mind, I would have come to school the next day with that fucking gun. I didn't have one. Thank God I didn't. Because I can fucking guarantee you, I would have brought it the next day and I would have shot every single one of those motherfuckers, and I would not have regretted it at all.
I mean, that's a pretty serious level of assault for people, for kids to do to other kids. And now
that's not even the worst.
It's not the worst. And that was a long time ago, in which case, really the only people that knew about it were the people there and the people they told. Now come into 2021, where not only did they do it, they also videoed it and
show it to the whole world.
Sent it to everyone.
Everybody. Look at this. Everyone. Look at what we did this. And by the way, they're not just doing what they did to me. That was a starter course. The next school I went to summer school. They told me what they did at that school. They called their treatment there. Now I went from swirly to the truth serum to the Lotion. The next school I went to was called the Lotion.
What school
Do you
was
want
this?
to? T.C. Williams
T.C.
in
Williams.
Alexandria, Virginia. That was where the Lotion was. Truth Serum was at Yorktown High School
First
in
of all,
Arlington, Virginia.
If you went to this school and you know what that is, you need to comment on here. I need to talk to you.
And T.C.
the bottom
Williams,
of that.
T.C. Williams had the Lotion. And the Lotion, and they told me about the Lotion because I was going to go out for the football team. I was at summer school. I was taking summer school. I was going to go out for the football team in the fall. I was sitting in the summer school class, and I was like, I'm going to go out for the football team. They're like, oh, you're going out for the football team? Well, you better get ready for the Lotion. And my mind was already, boom. I know what a swirly is. I know what True Serum is. What's the fucking Lotion? The Lotion was when 10 to 15 guys held you down, stripped you naked, and jammed a bottle of lotion up your ass and emptied the lotion into your ass.
What?
And so I told, because I obviously didn't want that to happen to me.
Oh, clearly.
So I went to my coach at my other high school, and he asked me, are you going to go out for football in the fall? And I said, no, I'm not. And he said, why not? And I said, well, they've got a thing there called the Lotion. And he asked me what it was, and I told him. And then he said to me, that's bullshit. They're making that up. And I thought to myself, I've already experienced the Truth Serum. I know what that was like.
They didn't lie the first time.
They weren't making that shit up.
Right.
They're not making the fucking lotion up. That's the fucking truth. That's what's going to fucking happen. And it's not fucking happening to me. Now, I didn't even end up going to T.C. Williams. I took the summer school class there. I went to Episcopal High School. They had what they called the RAT system at Episcopal High School.
Dude, how did you make your way into all of these?
Oh, everywhere I
Illuminati
went,
style
everywhere I
things?
went, I was always the target. Always the target. Everywhere I went, it didn't matter where I was always the target. I would walk in and they'd be like, that's the motherfucker we're going to do this to. Whatever that thing was that they wanted to do, it was always me. Always me. So anyway, so the RAT system. They had RAT meetings at Episcopal High School. And by the way, Episcopal High School, just so you know, I haven't completely decided whether or not I'm going to file some type of fucking class action lawsuit against your motherfucking ass. You're one of the most prestigious high schools in Northern Virginia. And this is the shit that fucking happened to me at your fucking school. And it was sanctioned by the fucking school. It was sexual fucking assault that happened on me. And many other fucking people that were at school sanctioned events that we were required to fucking go to. So the RAT system, you're a rat. Your first year at that school, you're a rat. It was an all boys boarding school.
Okay.
And so they used to have rat meetings on fucking Friday night. And everyone had to go. And if you were a rat, you came in and you went up against a fucking wall and you stood there while they fucking yelled at you and screamed at you and did whatever the fuck they wanted
Like
to.
a hazing, kind of.
Yes. Add in the fact that you couldn't fucking move. And I was their least favorite fucking one. And these motherfuckers brought lacrosse sticks to the fucking hazing and they would ram them in your fucking ass. And you couldn't even fucking move.
Right.
So you're standing there getting fucking yelled at by every fucking direction. No adult supervision because they didn't give a fuck. And some smart ass motherfucker is ramming a lacrosse stick in your ass.
That's crazy as hell.
Then they would pick out certain ones of us who were the cocky ones, like me, and we had to fucking bob for apples in fucking ice water. So we would bob for apples in ice water, competing against another cocky person that was chosen. And the loser had to then bob for a fucking frozen hot dog at the bottom of the fucking tub of ice water while the whole room chanted, suck that dick, suck that dick.
Jesus Christ.
And if you think if I had a fucking gun, I wouldn't have gone into that fucking room and blown every one of those motherfuckers away, I absolutely fucking would have.
I want to know what happened to those dudes.
Nothing.
No, right now. Where are they right
I'd
now?
love to. And let me tell you something. I'll tell you this. I remember every fucking one of you motherfuckers, and I have not dismissed the idea. I think about it every fucking day of going to a law firm and saying, I went to one of the most prestigious high schools, all boys boarding schools in the fucking world. We had ambassadors' kids there. We had senators' kids there. We had fucking congressmen's kids there. And it was so exclusive. There was only 300 kids in whole school, all boys, Episcopal High School. Look it up. And they fucking did that shit to me at school sanctioned events, sexually assaulted me again and again. And not just me, every fucking buddy that was there as a rat. And then at the end of the year, they fucking threw me out. After I fucking made their football team great, after I made their wrestling team great, after I made their baseball team great, as soon as my baseball season was over, they fucking tossed my ass out like I was fucking nothing. And I remember every fucking one of you. And if you're a lawyer out there and you're listening to this fucking show and you want to see me fucking take a lawsuit against these motherfuckers, I will take a lawsuit against these motherfuckers because the school stood by and let these motherfuckers ram lacrosse sticks in our fucking asses night after night after night after fucking night, and they were allowed to fucking do it. And the school fucking let them.
That's crazy. I never experienced that.
So,
I don't even hear
so
anything
when
like that.
somebody tells me that they don't understand why a motherfucker showed up at school with a fucking gun, I promise you, if I had a fucking gun, I wouldn't have even waited till the next fucking day.
I want to know then, I guess, in modern day, is it all, I don't know. I feel like, so this kid that just got shot in Albuquerque, seems like he was defending someone else who was being bullied by this kid.
Maybe.
So maybe it wasn't the case of retribution for something that had happened to them. But I do think, and I used to say this all the time when it came to school shootings. I used to say, you know what stops school shootings? If you just tell, you're raising assholes. Your kids, as someone's kid is an asshole, and they're constantly making fun of people. And they're constantly treating kids like shit.
Yeah.
And they're making them to the point where they're killing themselves.
Right.
And they're harming other people.
Right.
That's why this is happening. So
Right.
maybe you think, oh, well, you know, my kid's a star. He's nice. It's good grades.
Yeah,
Star this.
right.
Your kid's probably a dick.
Right. Your kid's a dick.
kid's
Let me tell
probably
you. Let
treating
me tell you.
people like
I'll
shit.
just tell you what I did. I'll tell you what I realized I had to do. And people, you can joke about this and laugh and think whatever the fuck they want. I realized from that point in my life, I have to be able to fight everybody. I got to be able to fucking not just fight them all. I got to fucking be able to kill them.
You know what's interesting about that is the opposite. Jocko Willink, I showed Skylar a clip of him. It's an interview from his podcast.
Send her the address. She doesn't have it.
Jocko Willink was talking about fighting. He's like, if you want to, and if you don't know who he is one of the baddest motherfuckers on the planet, by bar none. Black belt jiu-jitsu, Navy SEAL, bad motherfucker. Right. You want to square up against me? He says, you want to square up against me? That's fine. I'm going to run away. You want to fight me? I'm going to run away. All right. You want to throw a punch and you miss? I'm going to run away. I'm always going to run away. Doesn't matter how big you are or how bad I am. I'm going to run away. Where that changes is when you grab me. When you grab me and I cannot run away, that's when that changes. And now you're in my world. And what am I going to do? I'm going to subdue you so I can run away. I'm going to stop you. If you push me on the ground, you get on top of me, I'm going to do what I can to defend myself so I can get up and run away. That's what I'm going to do. Right. I'm not going to hit you because the second that I do that, that's when my life changes and your life changes. Because if anything,
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, I could hit you. You could fall down, hit your head. Anything could happen.
No, I get it.
You could die.
I get it.
So I'm going to run away.
I get it.
And you know, but here's the thing: is that people are put in situations, anything even remotely like what you're in,
Right.
you can't run away. And what are you gonna do? And it's so crazy to me that we live in a world where kids go through this. Like,
No,
it's
buddy. And let
wild.
me tell you something. I try to pay attention to the updates of what's going on because of what I experienced. And like I said, look, I'm not trying to make it sound like I was the most. I went through what I went through. Those things happened to me. I can't change them. Nothing I can do about it. If you know how to send her the address, send it to her. But and I look out for the things that are happening to these kids now are worse, way worse. I've read stories. I've seen things in the news about things that are happening to the kids nowadays that make what happened to me nothing. True Serum was nothing. I never got the lotion. I'm not going to lie. I would tell you if I did, I would tell you. I never told anybody I got the True Serum. In fact, there were people that came to me later on in the school year and they're like, hey, man, I heard they gave you the True Serum. They give you the True Serum. I was like, no, man, they didn't give me that shit. I didn't get it. They tried. I didn't get it.
That's fucking crazy. Crazy as hell.
But here's where I am at my life now. And this is the thing, like what you're talking about with the guy you're talking about. Here's what I know how to do. I know how to break your neck in 2 seconds. I know how to break your arm in 2 seconds. I will avoid a fight like there is no tomorrow because I don't want to fight you. But if somebody fucking touches me, if somebody puts their hands on me, I know about 9,000 fucking ways to break bones in their body. Not to fucking stop them from hurting me, to stop, to as hard as I can. I don't want to kill anybody. But if you want to know why people fucking shoot somebody in school, they ain't being teased. They're not being made fun of. They're not being called bad names. They're being assaulted in ways that people have no fucking idea.
I think that could be happening, but I would say that more so than not that it's a mental beatdown. I think
it's both.
I think you'd be surprised in this
I've heard
current
stories.
day and age, the amount of damage kids can do to one another with just this.
I'm
device.
sure. No, I'm not disputing that or refuting that. I am saying that whenever I see a story about hazing, whenever I see a story about bullying, whenever I see a story about somebody being abused in school, whenever I see any,
whatever they're reporting, it's far less reported than what happened.
Nobody ever knew what happened to me. Nobody knew.
It's on top.
My coaches that were there right now, if I was to tell that story right now, and I was to tell the people that were there who did it, and I remember every one of their fucking names, and I could say them right fucking now.
I'll tell you this, because, and this has...
My coaches would tell you that I was lying and making it up. They'd be like, that shit didn't happen. You're fucking...
Yeah. I mean, I remember a story about 2 or 3 years ago of a kid who was being tried for rape of a minor. He was 18, she was 17 or 16. They were both in high school, and she wanted to have sex in the bathroom of the school. He went in there, he's having sex with her in the bathroom. She's recording it with her phone, saying, you know, whatever, talking dirty to him, all this and that shit, and then sends it to people, and then says that her parents get a hold of it, and she says, I didn't, you know, he raped me, blah blah blah. This kid went away. He went away for rape, and it's like that happened. Now, was it a good idea for him to do that, to have sex in the bathroom in school? Absolutely not. Did he deserve to go away for rape? It's a different story. I mean, she sat there and played essentially victim as soon as her parents found out what had happened, since it got around from people. And it spread like wildfire. It's fucking crazy, man. That's crazy. We're gonna go to this next story. That was a wild story, though.
That's crazy.
That was a wild story.